Good evening, everybody, and a very well welcome to One Hub Racing Season 28, round number 3. We've done P4, P3, P2, and it's now time for P1's turn to go on the streets of Albert Park in Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix. I wonder who's going to do well tonight. Will we see a different race winner, or will we see people like Alex and Marco take the race victory again, or will we see Kevin get up his first race win and become the bride, not the bridesmaid? My name is Jess Ball, one of your lead commentators throughout this evening's race, and joining me is someone who knows how to win around this track. It's P4 tier winner Jamie. Jamie, how are you doing? And first of all, congratulations on your win earlier on.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm doing really good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's a track which I quite enjoy for obvious reasons, and yeah, it should be a good race. And obviously last week we had well, Alex and Kevin were in a league of their own last week. So see if that can repeat this week, and see if the guys behind can maybe be a bit closer.
Yeah, you can see on the standings that pretty much Marco and Kevin are tied on points on 34. Kevin getting 2 P2s, whereas Marco's getting a win and a P3 last week. And then 1 point behind them is Alex, who got the win last week, and he missed out on the win in race 1 due to penalties. In my opinion, I was even saying that to Colin in the pre-race show, it's got to be between those two for the driver's title, but do not count out Callum. Callum is a man who I think could really redeem himself after last week. He was very unlucky with some of the moments in the Austria race, but he has got some decent pace and it can go either way.
Yeah, definitely, he can be a contender, but I think he's missing a couple of races though, so I think that may affect him, because obviously if you do miss races then you're not going to score any points, so he needs to really capitalise on the race he is here. And of course, getting 2 second place in this league is quite good. It means you're only losing you're only 6 points behind the maximum, because obviously there's a smaller gap between second and third for the exact same reason. We only want reward consistency, and Kevin is showing that for sure. He's got 2 poles yet to win, but can he convert a pole this time? Obviously he's got to get pole first, but
yes,
we'll wait and see what happens. As I believe we maybe get a few engine penalties this season. They're starting to come in now, so that's going to affect how the grid's going to look, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we will get to that later, of course. I think one of the only penalties we got in P1 is that car wear penalty, where you have to take a gearbox and a engine penalty. You've got to take it at different times during the season. And I'm quite surprised people are taking it early, but of course some people can make it work. Alex Carew Goat has got an engine penalty this week, so he will be taking a 10-place grid penalty. So whenever the lobby restarts, 10 places will be added to Alex. So say if he starts on pole, he'll be starting 10th or 11th. So there we go. So that is what's going to happen. No one else has got any engine or gearbox penalties this week. And I was going to say quite a bit about the stewards report, but there's no point, because I looked at the stewards report for P1 tier. No incident. So I was very impressed with the standards last week. No safety car again, and we almost got a full grid. We only had one driver missing, and that is Owen Wyatt. He can't make it this week, but everyone else is here.
Yeah, definitely. We do have a couple of driver changes though. Obviously Chris, who was racing last week, he's dropped down into the P2 tier. As you probably saw, he's driving Haas in the P2 tier. And we have got Dave, who's replacing him in the Aston Martin. So that is our one driver change for this season. So we're back up to 20 drivers again. And obviously there are still spaces in the P3 and the P4 tier. So if you fancy a go and you feel like you got the pace for them 2 tiers, and then do sign up on the website, on Discord, and we'll try and get you in.
Yep. Please do get signing up if you're interested. There's also space. Yeah, there's space in the tier I'm in as well. There's one more space. So yeah, it is a great league, and I do highly recommend it. So without further ado, let's get into qualifying with 60 minutes left on the clock, as this track was first built back in 1993, and the first Formula One race it actually hosted was back in 1996. We remember what happened to Martin Brundle in that year, where he had a massive accident, a massive flip, and that caused a bit of trouble for Mr. Martin Brundle, but let's hope we don't get that here. And of course, this track has changed over the years. Back in 22, where turn 8 and 9 has become a full straight, not as a chicane, which obviously looks a lot better than previous Australia tracks, which means we're going to probably more than likely see quite a bit of overtakes. The first driver to set a lap time is a driver who said to me, I'm going to do well, he said, is his favourite track. And if he said to me, if it was going to rain, he was going to pretty much kill me. But Colin is the first driver to set a lap time. And he spoke to me as well. And he was very happy with his points last week, considering how high caliber of a tier this is. So let's see if he can build up on his pace from last week.
Yeah, I do think this tier is on average faster than last season. It is really competitive, and even getting points this tier is some effort. You see people like Axelok, who obviously was a previous contender for titles, yet to score a point. So it just shows you how the standards have jumped up. And yeah, Colin, I was speaking to him earlier, and yeah, he's practiced good. I sort of know what sort of lap he'd be happy with, so see how he is. He's going to approach his lap now. He's going through sector 2 flat out. This really massive DRS is so powerful around there. You can gain half a second in the race DRS for that, even on like no ERS. So this is going to be absolutely critical for him if he's going to approach this. Now these corners changed a little bit in 2022. They made them a little bit wider to allow more overtaking, and yeah, he's taking that nicely there. He's got a car ahead. I don't think he's getting his way though. So Colin going to approach the final corner. So difficult, so easy to drop a wheel. These last few corners there. He goes a little bit deep there. He won't be too happy with that. And now he's going to cross the line. What can he go? Looks a good lap so far. Is he going to be in the 15s? It's a 15.7. That's a couple attempts off what he's happy with. I believe he's looking for maybe a mid-15. So not a bad bank for him there, and he can go again. He's got 3 more attempts to improve, and now he's got good bankering. He can go a bit more aggressively later on.
As Logan, who finished fifth place last week, goes P1 at the moment, but I know he could go slightly quicker as well. Here comes Casper, who was unwell last week. That's why he didn't perform as well, but he's looking to redeem himself this week, and there he goes. He goes P1 at the moment with J. Cole in P2. We've got Kevin, who's in the middle of his run at the moment, going through sector 3. I didn't see what his sector 2 time was, but I will keep an eye on it very, very soon to see what the lap time was from himself. But here comes Kevin through the last corner as Matt Clark goes second fastest, by the way. Good lap from him. Marco goes P1, one of the championship contenders. What can Kevin do? The quali merchant becomes a quali merchant in the 14s already, does Kevin. Of course, he did the hot lap for us recently, so I'd like to say thank you very much, Kevin, for doing that hot lap for us. But wow, I am very impressed there with Kevin being able to do that.
Yeah, 6 temps on a track like this. That is incredible, and that is going to be tough. The rest of the tier has taken a massive side there, that lap. That is going to be very difficult to beat. And I have to say, Kevin, he's looking good to make it 3 in a row. And yeah, you got to see. Obviously, Alex can still get pole, but he won't start on pole. You can still get the pole start, but he won't start on pole. So wait and see what Nikita can do as well. But that is just incredible for Kevin, and that is just—he's a good driver to pick for the hot lap. I think fair to say that time.
Yeah, he wants to do it every week now, he said. So I might take you on that offer. And he was practicing for Mexico last night, and then when he got the call to do the lap, he said he would do it anyway. And it's great to have him in the league. Of course, he's moved teams recently as well, as Arnold unfortunately has invalidated his run. So we do have quite a few people invalidated, but there's still some people to set laps, including this man, Lakitu, who's had a good start to the season, but he does know he can move his way up through the field. He has been consistent, but he really wants to be getting those podiums if he wants to be fighting out near the front. And I'm loving to see that he's back. Of course, he took a season off, and now he's here with us in the Red Bull, currently in 19th at the moment, but yet to get off the mark. But your pole sitter at the moment, 149, a few temps shy of Dave in P2. Dave, a rookie, doing very well in his first ever appearance in One Hub Racing, shows that it's nice that we are reaching a high caliber of drivers here, as we can see Lakitu frantically weaving his tyres to get them up to temperature.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, definitely. I do believe Dave is a friend of Kevin. I believe Kevin did recommend to the league. So yeah, that is good to see. Yeah, Lakitu obviously must have invalidated his first run because this is his second run. Bit of pressure on the Red Bull man here. Obviously, he's had some good qualifying throughout the season. He's qualified in the top 5 both races. So yeah, he's definitely. Obviously, he was really quick in qualifying night. So yeah, Lakitu's got the raw pace, but he's just getting 1 or 2 penalties in races, which is costing him a few places. He's had pace for the podium in the first 2 races, but he just needs to get a bit more race consistency.
Yep, he does. And yes, he's racing other leagues, but yeah, he definitely needs to improve if he wants to pretty much go higher up the field. A 26.2, which is not what I was expecting for him. I think it's going to be a bit slower than I was expecting, but you never know. You can climb his way up through the field. A 14.9, I have to say, in any situation is going to be a big R. So let's go on board with Lakitu now. In through 7th gear, he stayed in 7th through turns 9 and 10, which I wouldn't have done in qualifying, but he does it quite consistently. In towards turn 11, he's clipped the curb a little bit, so he's going to lose quite a bit of time in that Red Bull. And now in towards turn 12, in towards 3rd or 4th gear, depending on the confidence. He goes for into turn 13 now. Through he goes, 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear, 7th gear, all the way up to 8th gear. What's going to be for the Red Bull driver? A 15.354, which puts him ahead of Dave. That is very decent from Lakitu. There's people on their second run now, including this man, J. Cole in the kicks out, but he would want to climb his way up, and he definitely wants to beat his teammate in the standings. And of course, Colin got points in this one, and he even said in the pre-race interviews that there are tracks coming up that are a lot worse. He doesn't even like this track, and he's invalidated as I said that. So that probably shows why he hates this track, and he's going to hate this because he's even said track position is key. So if he starts low down, well, he's not going to be proving his theory. Well, he's going to prove his theory right that if he's finished starts lower down, he's going to find it hard to gain position due to DRS trains.
No, yeah, definitely that is a big factor. And he's still pushing on. She can still learn, even on the invalid lap. He's still pushing on, see where he can improve. But yeah, that corner you validate, it's so easy to do because obviously you want a good exit to lead on to what was basically the whole sector 2. But if it's so easy just to go a little bit too wide, and he's lost it there. And it's there, and I think turn 1 where the invalidations tend to happen, and also the exit of turn 4. That invalidation can happen there as well. If you're going a bit too wide in the what I call the parking lot part of the track, then you can get an invalidation there. So they're the key areas to look out for. There's a good lap there by Merton, 4th. Obviously, he's shown his real strong racecraft this season. That's a good lap there for him in 4th, but still
Marco.
half a second off Kevin on pole, who's on Marco. Yeah, what can he do? Across the line. His teammate in the Williams goes up to 4th, pips him, but it's still half a second off. That Kevin lap is just amazing. I don't see how anyone's going to get anywhere near that.
Honestly, I don't think Kevin was expecting that lap time, but he's gone even quicker. Jamie, he's gone even quicker, a 14.9, and to put it into perspective, in the first set compared to Lakitu, he is almost 2.5 tenths quicker in the first sector. Sector 2, that's where he's the closest between him and Lakitu. It's about 6/100th of a second. Sector 3, almost 1.5 tenths. So he's gained about 4 tenths in 2 sets alone, and that is just insane for Kevin. He's got. I'm very impressed with him. He's going to probably get the Speedster Award, I have to say, because yeah, that is definitely going to be interesting there, as for some reason it's not letting me select certain drivers, so I have to do it the old-fashioned way. But there we go, people are on laps. Curry, by the way, goes up into 5th place. Solid lap from him.
Yeah, very good lap. Yeah, Curry struggled this season. He's been at the back of the grid the first 2 races, and he'd be really happy with that lap. Obviously, there was talk of maybe moving down to the P2 tier, but he's happy to stay in the P1 tier, and laps like that, you can see why, because that's great to see for Curry, right up there, and you should be proud of that. I think
I would be proud of that lap. He absolutely smashed it. So let's hope maybe that he could smash it even more this evening. As a yellow flag, and there's a few people absolutely struggling on their laps at the moment. Why did it not let me spectate a few drivers? That is weird. Apologies on that one. That is weird. It's only let me on a certain driver. I think it might just be my keyboard having a bit of a hissy fit, but that's what you get at times. But P1 at the moment, 14.920 for him, and Day just goes P2. It's annoying that I can't go on board with anyone because it's not letting me, which is a bit frustrating. I might need to get my keyboard instead, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, interesting note. Kevin did that on his second lap. I wonder if Kevin's doing what we saw last week, where we're seeing guys doing like a build-up lap and going again. But I think on this track it didn't really work because he's got the C5 tyres, a lot softer tyres. So yeah, Kevin doing it on the second lap. So that's interesting to see. As Nikita's about to start a lap, can he pip Kevin? He only needs to improve by a couple of hundredths to do so. So wait and see. As one of our strongest qualifiers in the league.
Yeah, there's plenty. I was looking at
See what
the
sector one's
tiers.
gonna be.
Yeah, I was looking at the tiers, and there's quite a few drivers that are really good in qualifying, but in the race, their pace is not the best. And that's why some people are probably in the tiers they're in, because yes, they're a good qualifier, but they're not as good in the race, and that's what counts, and that's what helps you get the points, because you don't get the points in the qualifying session, as Lakita is a few 100s up on his previous best, but I don't think it's going to be enough to reach Dave, as Alex goes 7th fastest at the moment, as Jamie has just left the session, so hopefully he'll be able to join very shortly, but that's fine. We could carry on with this qualifying session as Alex makes his way through in towards turn 11 and 12. Now he's catching up to quite a few drivers around him, so let's hope the dirty air's not gonna help or hinder him in any way. Of course, last week's race winner, he's doing well for himself. Of course, he's got an engine penalty this week. Let's see how high he can climb so he doesn't start near the back of the grid. Up to 9 he goes. He goes P2. He goes P2, but not enough to reach the heights of Kevin at the moment. He's currently sitting in P1. Marco's on a run at the moment, but he's invalidated his run, so we'll move over to Morgan in P17. He's going to probably go dive it into the pit lane. Yes, he does dive it in to the pit lane. We've got one of the Aston Martins on a lap. Axelot, he hasn't set a lap time, a competitive lap time of 16.1. He was not happy with that earlier on, so he goes up to the line. Then what can that Aston Martin driver do? Again, still not enough. He's going to be, unfortunately, in P17, so that's going to drop him in a very poor position. So that is people's last runs done, because of course Marco's invalidated. Mert has gone into the pits. Of course he does. Robite, of course, he's back this week. He's a little bit out of sync compared to everybody else, but he's done a 15.623 for his first run. We'll see what he could do in his second run as he goes down into third gear. Runs a little bit wide on the exit as they enter in towards turn 4, and that was a bit harder to save on the brakes there, and he just saved it in time, but that's his lap done, unfortunately. But we're going to see everyone now dive it into the pit lane to finish their runs then for the end of qualifying. Who you think is going to get pole? Let us know in the chat. We have got, I'm just trying to see people's reactions to pre-race interviews. Casper thinks it's a nice track. He said he quite enjoys it, as does quite a few other drivers. I think when we were looking at the pre-race interviews, I think quite a lot of people were saying they love this track. So, of course, you can't have everybody do well at this track, because that's not the whole point. But you could see people diving in. And Jamie, did you manage to join back into the session yet?
Yeah, apologies for that, guys. I'm having a bit of technical issues tonight, and I'm back in now. So hopefully, I've reset my systems. Hopefully, we're back going again now. And yeah, so yeah, thanks for holding the fort a bit there, Jess. But yeah,
no worries. No worries. That's what I like doing. That's what I like doing. So we have got quite a few people that just dive into the pits. My keyboard is having a bit of a moment again. It seems like both of us are having technical issues, it seems, tonight, but we're getting through it. We're getting through it. And we do got a prediction from the chat from Mikey that Kevin's going to be pole. Well, I don't think anyone's going to beat that. I think if anyone else would beat that, it would be this man of Dave, the newbie, of course, and of course he's good friends with Kevin, so we'll keep an eye on him. Curry is on a lap at the moment. No, he's not. He's diving into the pits. Never mind.
The pits. Yeah, it's just yeah. He's not gonna have time to go again. So Curry's done for qualifying there. But I think he'd be happy with mid-4. I think he'd be happy with 0.4. That's good. He may not stay 8th, but he's definitely looking a lot more competitive than he did in the first 2 rounds, where he was a bit off the pace. As Kevin, for me, has got no wing or nose. Don't know if, for me, Kevin hasn't got a wing or nose. I don't know if that's a glitch or not.
It's hard to
he's tell. He's down around without a nose on my car. So, but the car, it doesn't. I
could
think it's a grapple
check.
glitch on my side because
I think it doesn't look obvious. It doesn't look obvious my side, so
no,
I think he's all
yeah,
right. But to be fair,
yeah,
I
it's
don't
just a
think anyone's
glitch.
going to beat him
It's quite
anyway.
funny. No, seeing it.
I
No,
don't.
I
I
think
don't. I don't
driving
think
maybe
any.
wishing you could drive out in the race.
Yeah, to be fair, in my race, which didn't go to plan by the way, I was driving on 34% damage, and it was all right. But when it got to the end of the medium stint, it was a nightmare. So hopefully Kevin won't get that in the race because that's going to cost you quite a bit of time. So let's watch one of our first drivers to set a lap time for our final stint of Dave. He's aborted. Never mind, he's aborted his run then. So I'm guessing he's going to go again very, very soon. So I think next will be his teammate of Atsop. Nope, he's on an out lap. I'm just trying to see who else. I think it's one of the racing bulls. That is Epic the Animal, who is just finishing his run at the moment. What's it going to be for Logan? It's going to be a 15.3. That is a solid lap from him. Of course, another debutant. He's been on his third race now. He's gone into P3. Then it's one of the Red Bulls of Clark, I believe. No, it's not Clark. It's someone else. But quite a few people just about to finish their runs. Callum and Casper are starting their runs at the moment. Luckily, Casper's only invalidating his out lap. But yeah, there's people doing their final runs. We'll see if they can improve.
Merton and Williams on a good lap here is 2 tenths up in sector 2, so this can maybe get him into third place if he has a good final sector 1. Didn't have the best run through that corner though, so let's see what he does. Puts the final 2 corners now.
Kevin's validated.
Jumping the top 10, hits the curb, and he's in the grass. That is his run over. He bit too greedy there. Obviously, the final one, you have to go for it. He did go for it there, and he just lost it there. Merton was disappointed there because I think he could have gotten to the point through that lap there. He's in the pits now. And at best,
yeah, we missed that. I was on board with the Ron Williams. I thought I was on board with Marco. Never mind. But yeah, that was a shame from there because he could have gone for a good result. But here comes Marco. Gets the run down to the line. Can he challenge Kevin, who's invalidated? The answer to that is no. Not even close. He goes into P3 at the moment. Dave cannot improve. He's invalidated. Let's watch the key two. He's got to find a bit more attempts than that if he wants to get pole position. Arnold is retired from the session. The key to taking the shortest run to the line. What's it going to be for the Red Bull driver? A 15.2. That puts him into P3.
Goes third.
Callum unarmed goes in into it's in 7th at the moment. He's going through the middle sector. His teammate right behind in front of him, and we also got the Ferrari. Yeah, but he's on a slow lap, I believe, but we'll have to wait and see. So I'm just gonna go on board. Doesn't look like he's on a slow lap because he's burning a bit of overtake, but he's lost a bit of time in that final corner, which could cost him a little bit, but still is going to be a decent lap. Puts him into P9, 15.3. Like 1 tenth separating second and ninth, and one small mistake like that would put you in P9. It's a bit unfortunate. Senna has invalidated, so Kevin had pole for pretty much the whole session. He only needs to do run. Yeah. That was it. Only needs to do run, start the session, and he's got pole again.
Yeah, and I think he might have had damage because he did come in the pits on that outlap. So I think Kevin maybe did have a bit of damage and came in the pits. Yeah, but as you say, he didn't need to. Obviously, I would say save tires to the race, but we do love the restarts. That's irrelevant anyway. So yeah, he has that under control massively there. Look at that. The gap between pole and, as you mentioned, the gap between pole and first is 3 tenths, but the gap between second and 19th is 4.5 tenths. So that just sums it up.
It's incredible
how ridiculous this tier is.
Welcome to P1, ladies and gentlemen.
Colin, I thought he had a good lap. He's in the back row. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, Colin would have been still happy with that lap, even though he was like near the back. But to be honest, he could have found a bit more time there. So let's run through your order then. So we've got Kevin from Alex, Lakitu, Marco, Epic the Animal had a good lap there. Damon Sip, he could have done a lot better if he didn't invalidate. We've got Callum Unarmed, Matt, Matthew, Casper, J. Cole, Curry, Arnold, Mert, Axelot, Senna, Robite, Diagro, Colin R. Mason, and Morgan. 7 tenths separating the rest of the field. So as Jamie was saying, we are going to go straight to a lobby restart. But it's hard to tell who has been our biggest surprises and biggest disappointments because they were all so close. But who do you think should have done well but didn't?
Oh, that is very difficult. I think Axel. His struggles do continue. He just doesn't seem to have what he's had in previous seasons, and obviously I didn't expect him to qualify quite near the first fall down as he did. Also, I think look at it, you've got to say the likes of, I think Callum in 7th, he'd be a little bit disappointed by that. I think he'd probably expect a top 5, but it's a bit harsh saying someone's done poorly in 7th in this tier. That seems really harsh to say that, but they're the guys who I think were disappointed. I think the surprise has to be Curry 11th. That's good to see him, in the middle of the grid. Could have been a top 10, but at 11th, that's good to see him, obviously showing a bit more. So they're my summaries for qualifying there.
He was like P5 or P6 at one point as well, and that just shows, I think, the caliber of drivers that we have in this league, which is absolutely incredible. So I think certain drivers, the only way for them to go is up. So we are going to see what is going to happen in terms of the race. And we got a red flag in game, by the way. That's funny. But we did have a red flag in P2 as well. So it will take a while for us to get going. We don't usually, we don't usually stream the lobby restarts because it gets a bit boring after a while. But of course, it's going to be a dry race. Of course, we have plenty of drivers doing mixture strategies. You could do double hard, double medium. I don't think there's a wrong on whether you go double hard or double medium. I was seeing more people doing double hard, just trying to go for something different compared to double mediums, because it does depend, of course, if you have a chance of safety cars. But with P1, there's hardly chance of any safety cards. So potentially, P1 could potentially go for maybe a double medium strategy, but you never know. Anything could happen in this league.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's not much in it. I think obviously it all depends on how you manage your tyres. Obviously, I went double hard because I couldn't, because tyre management is not my forte. So I wanted to lean a bit on tyres. But to these guys, I think you may see more double mediums in this. We saw a mixture in the P2 tier, and he did throw up a race. We had a safety car at that race, which really did shake up the order a little bit. And I've noticed, don't know what's been going on, but the safety cars, the VSCs had this around this track. We've seen a lot of drive-through penalties. I'm not sure what that's about. We'll have a look, see what that is. Hopefully we don't get it in here, because them drive-through penalties, they really are the wrong penalty to give out that sort of thing, and it just kills your race.
I think there was about 3 or 4 that got it in P2, and then there was about more than that got it in P4 tier as well. It was a absolute nightmare. I don't think we had any VSCs in P3, so that to be honest, that was the kind of time that I actually wanted it. But there we go. But whilst we wait, let's have a look at some of the race interviews and look at the rivalry section, because there were a few drivers that were called to the rivalries, and that was Kevin and Marco, of course, tied in the top of the standings after 2 races, and they were asked if this is going to be a consistent pattern for them too as the season progresses, and have the battles been enjoyable for them. And Marco saying consistency will definitely be crucial throughout the season. We haven't really had a chance to really compete against each other on track yet. And Kevin says, we haven't actually battled each other yet, but I'll take it race by race and don't think about the championship that much. Those two have raised a good point. Yes, they're tied on points, but they haven't fought on track. They were near each other because of penalties, and the main people that they were fighting with was Alex. They haven't fought each other, so that is going to be interesting to see if they get closer to each other in the race. I am very intrigued to see what happens there.
Yeah, obviously with 1 point separating all 3, you can't get as tight as that's possible. They haven't really fought. Yeah, obviously Alex had it really was Kevin. It really was Kevin and Alex. Marco wasn't really in it in Austria. It was a bit off the pace. Obviously hoping to maybe a bit close this time. He cannot afford to have any more races like Austria where he's 10 seconds off these two. So yeah, he'll be open to reverse the fortunes this week and have a nice good battle. Obviously the key for him is to stay with these guys around the pit stops, because there were 7 of them in the first stint, and then obviously with the safety car, with the pit stops, then guys obviously got clear air, and that made it just basically become Alex and Marco. And once they deal with each other, it makes it nigh on impossible for the third place guy to keep up, because the DRS, this and Austria are probably 2 tracks where DRS are probably the most powerful, because around here you get it back to back, you get it 4 zones, and you can pass somebody in turn 1 and you get to keep it for turn 2, turn 3. So it is. And same for the back end of the track. So yeah, that would be one thing to keep an eye out for in the race tonight.
Yeah, I think I found out in practice, and I'm sure you found out in the race, if you were in a DRS train, you gain so much more time. And then as soon as you're out of it and not leading, then you are going to be in a spot of bother, really. And that's where you can gain the most time because of the slipstream. And I would expect people in this tier to run really low wings. I obviously run a bit higher wings compared to everybody else due to the fact that the car would have been unstable otherwise. But there were certain drivers that were running, I'm not going to say what because I'm not going to give it away, but they were running really low wings than I was expecting, and they were able to get past me on the straights. So yeah, we will see probably most people running low wings around here. Just the fact that they just want to try and get past in towards turn 1. That's the key overtaking point, turn 4 especially, and in towards turn 11 and 12, and also through the pretty much the long straight in towards turn 9 and 10 as well. We could see plenty of overtakes happening there as well. We have no driver's press conference this week because no one, well, someone was called to the driver's press conference, but no one responded, unfortunately. So we're just getting ready to set up the grid. Of course, Alex starting, well, he was going to start second, but he's got a 10-place grid penalty, so he'll start 12th and 13th, which for him is probably the best case scenario because he's not going to be starting towards the back of the grid, and we've seen him climbing up the grid before. Time to get us our predictions going before we get to the main race and go through the sponsors. Who would you say would be your top 3? Will Kevin just break his P2 streak and get his first win of the season, or will Marco or Callum or something like that be able to nick it away from him?
Well, I'm gonna go really, really boring here and just say Kevin's gonna win. I think with that sort of pace advantage in qualifying, it's gonna be very difficult for the guys doing the race. They may be able to keep up with him, but to overcome that sort of gap, a 3/10 gap in a race, and Kevin actually could have gone quicker because he didn't do his final run. So I'm going to say Kevin for the win. I'm going to say Marco for second and Lakitu for third place. That is my podium prediction for tonight.
There we go. I can't remember who I predicted in the talk show, but I'm probably going to come up with something different. But I think Marco's going to get P1, Kevin's going to get P2, and I can't remember who I predicted P3 now, but that's pretty much... Alex, that's it. But I forgot he had a penalty. So, I
didn't pick him, yeah.
Yeah, I think Logan, Epic the Animal, I think Logan's going to get P3. I'm going to go for a bold prediction. Or it might be Callum unarmed, I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see as it continues to see who potentially could do well in that occasion. And of course, with almost a full grid, it's going to take a long time for this grid to go up. Mikey said in the chat, by the way, Morgan could only go up. Yes, that is true. Morgan is starting at the back of the grid. Of course, this is a tier that he's probably a bit uncomfortable with, but he's enjoying it. He's learning from the faster drivers. What do you think we could expect from Morgan tonight?
Well, he was last week in Austria, he was in that lead train for the first stint before it went a bit wrong later on. So I think, and yeah, he qualified last, but if he improved by a 10 for 2, he'd be like in the top 10. So I think he can get some points. Definitely can fight for some points around there. And yeah, it's just about learning for him. Obviously, being the P2 tier champion last season, he's enjoying the challenge, as you say. And yeah, I think this is about learning for him. Obviously, he probably never raced such drivers ever. So he's going to take a lot from this, and yeah, just try and take what you can from it, and hopefully for his sake, he just has a good clean race and moves up the field, and just shows you what he's capable of. As obviously he's developed a lot in the past year in this league.
He has. I mean, he's only started league racing on this game, and he's grown and grown and grown. So imagine what he's going to be like in a season's time when he's had one season in the P1 tier. I can't wait. But let's go through our sponsors before we go through the main race action. So our title sponsors, Delta.app. If you're over 18, you can download the app for free and make your investment decisions like the world's top investors, and there's a lot of investments you can make. Click the link in the chat by using !Delta, or if you're watching this back on YouTube, the link is in the description, so make sure you check that out. Then we got our main sponsors who has been our sponsors for a while. Next Level Racing, those are the prizes you could potentially win this season. Sim racing setups, there's lots of dry, wet esports setups that the drivers can buy, and you can get a discount by using the code OneHubRacing. And the Australia setup are free, so hopefully the drivers were able to pick up that advantage this season. But if they want to get the rest of it, you could do that, and there's plenty of prize you can get from sim racing setup, as you can see on your screen. 10% off pure sim gear products by using the code OHR10P. They are another sponsor for the season. And of course, Kevin did a good shout to win the Speedster Award this season. I think it is his second or third pole in a row, which is absolutely insane. So let's hope he could continue that. Our partners, Vespertine, supporting our merchandise, our prizes, and also our payment systems. And finally, SimGrid. Without SimGrid, there'll be lots of forms to fill out, and it'll be an absolute nightmare. So thank you to all of our sponsors, of course. Without you, of course, we would have no league. And now the drivers are getting ready to load their setups. Of course, hopefully nobody's up like we saw in the P2s here, just gone. So hopefully they'll be fine there. And I won't be surprised, Jamie, if most people start on the mediums, because if you start on the hards, it's going to be quite tricky to make your way through the grid. But it does depend on pace.
Yeah, but I'm most surprised one or two guys at the back of the grid because they're starting hard tyres, because at the back of the grid it could be a viable option. But yeah, if you're at the front and you want to start the mediums, because you cannot afford to lose the pack around here, because if you are toast. And obviously on the hards, the first 2 or 3 laps, the traction is not the best. So yeah, wait and see. But we did see a couple of guys in the P2 tier start the hard tyres in the front now, so we may get the same here. But yeah, I expect to see probably 75% of the drivers tonight start on the medium tyre. And obviously the interesting thing is, what's the second stint going to be? Will it be another set of mediums, or will it be hard? That
Or
is
softs.
interesting to find out. Or, soft possibly, yeah, but
It didn't work in any tier.
No,
it didn't work in any tier.
See if we get a safety car like 4 laps to go. I think that's the only time we'll get to see a soft tyre in the race tonight.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be seeing any softs at all unless we get a safety car, which is probably not going to happen this. Of course, Welsh Benjamin in the chat, who did very well in the P3 tier earlier, saying let's go Alpine. I have to say, Alpine in the lower tiers, P4, P3 and P2 are doing quite well. So Welsh Benjamin is hoping that it's going to be the same tonight. I think if there was a combined constructors, I think Alpine will be leading the way quite considerably, actually. But I know Cam does his ranking, so I won't be surprised if Alpine will be leading that after tonight, I have to say. And I'm just waiting to see if we're going to get the ready up call soon. Of course, we've got adaptive weather system on once again this season, and it's a completely dry race for all our drivers as we are about to get underway then. 5 red lights. We got Kevin on pole, and we got the Mercedes alongside, and it is action here in the P1 tier. And of course, as we got Kevin, who's dropped down into P2. Actually, no, went into P1. Sorry, the timing's going by everywhere. But Kevin's getting a good start. Nikita in second, but we still got side-by-side action in the mid-pack as we got the Aston Martin fighting with Callum Arnott, as we already got penalties everywhere. We got a spinner, Mertz round, a yellow flag, and we got a VSC deployed, and we got disqualification, I believe.
Disqualified. Yeah, for multiple penalties, which is some effort on the first lap, I have to say. He's had a glitch there. Rob's had a glitch there. He's had. Well, I'm on the race director. He's had He's had about 30 3-second penalties there. So that's a glitch there for Rob. Unfortunate to see there. Obviously, we do see that in the game, and yeah, he's out the race. And yeah, there's just a few cars in the gravel there. I believe Mert was well. I think him and Rob did come together, and that's what's caused this VSC. Obviously, try and give a chance for the drivers to cool down a bit. Kevin got the start there. We did a bit of an issue on the timing screen on the start, but I think it has resolved itself now. We're going to get underway very shortly, I think, as this VSC shouldn't last long at all.
No,
a good start for him at the second.
Yeah, Nikita up to second. I got a bit confused, to be honest, Jamie, because I thought Kevin dropped way down the field. That's why I was a bit confused. But no, it's just the timing's having a bit of a paddy. Now, these drivers have got to be careful. We've seen drive-throughs in P4. We don't want to see the same in P3, please, as VSC's ending. As, Logan's pitted. Now, if it came soon, then it would have been a good time for it. But we got drive-throughs. I'm trying to see who's got drive-throughs. We'll get the tyres up on your screen, because I know quite a few people are going to ask that. So we got drive-throughs for Senna and Diagro, so they're going to come into the pits, it looks like. Everyone else is fine. We've got about 6 or 7 drivers in the pits, actually, so quite a few people have got damage.
A few wind changes going on.
Yeah, and we got a 10-second penalty, I believe, from one of our drivers as well. I was trying to see what that is. That might have been Senna, actually. But the top three running away with it at the moment. Both McLaren's doing well as well. Casper had a good start. Alex up to 7th already after his engine penalty. This has worked well in his favour for choosing Australia. Of course, he doesn't have to take an engine penalty now for the rest of the season. And for him, starting 7th from where he was, really great start.
Yeah, he took advantage of the bit of chaos ahead, all the drive-through penalties and stuff, and yeah, I believe Senna got a 10-second penalty long the flag. So I wonder if that was maybe a ghost car going slow somewhere there. Obviously, the funny thing is you can't get that removed because you will have to serve that next pit stop there. So that is going to cost Senna a lot there. He's already pitted anyway, so. Yeah, not a great first lap for Senna, but his teammate is in command at the front of the race so far. But Nikita is sticking with him for the moment.
Yeah, we can see Lakitu, who's gaining a bit of slipstream on Kevin at the moment, as we're already seeing people in the 18s, which I have to say is crazy, but you don't want to be in a dirty air for too long. It's so much understeer, and we can't really tell who's running low wings and who's running higher wings, because how Kevin is saving a bit of battery there because he's commanding the race. So of course he can save a bit of battery until we get towards turn 9. In towards turn 4 they go. Not many people making major moves. Morgan, by the way, was also another driver that's take advantage of that VSC. He didn't get a drive through, and he started last, and he's all the way up into 11th position. So his teammate not doing so well, but himself doing a decent job as he chases down Axelot for P10. He's got a good exit, by the way, heading through in towards turn 7 and 8, and this should be an easy move. I think Morgan's running lower wings than Axelot. He's got the DRS. It's going to be powerful. Swooping movement for Morgan, and he's up into P10, which is a good result for him so far. And he's going to see if he can try and climb his way through the order. Good on Morgan.
Yeah, he started on the mediums. Axelot on the hard tyres, as is J. Cole, and so of the guys that haven't pitted, it's only J. Cole, Morgan and Axelot on the hard tyres. Everybody else is on the mediums. Obviously, two of you guys did pit and change their wings. They'd go on hard tyres. Now, if you've got two sets of hards, you can effectively do double hard, but the guys in mediums are going to struggle to do this on another stop, I think. So that's really hamstrung them guys a bit further down.
Yeah, I think there's quite a few drivers that are struggling a little bit, especially with J. Cole on those hards, and I think he's got a lot of work to do, but at least he can go on to mediums later on in the race. But again, we don't know if they've gone for a double hard or if they've gone for 2 mediums. We're going to have to wait and see. So you never know, J. Cole could come into life later on. Someone's asked if Axelot's got damage. Axelot, I don't think so, but he's struggling on those hard tyres, which is probably why Arnaud has come into the pit and he's got a speeding penalty. Jamie did say that was common, and unfortunately that did not help Arnaud in the sights. I believe he's gone to service drive-through, so he comes through out of the pit lane and he has to serve for 10 seconds, which is not good. And Robite's just got put in the chat that he's missed his braking point, which is unfortunate. I've done that in my race, but towards the end, but luckily I survived. But unfortunately, Robite did not survive. It's getting a bit, I think, everyone just stuck in the DRS trailer. You just can't overtake. But Lakeith was looking more close than anything, and same with Casper on his teammate. But I wonder who's going to make the jump first. I wonder if some people will opt to pit early for a set of the mediums or the hard tyres, but we'll find out shortly. Alex has done so, as I said that.
Yeah, Alex in the pits now. I'm presuming he's got 2 sets of hards here, so you go on a set of hards now, get a bit cleaner, always go mediums. So Alex going for a set of mediums now, so yeah, he's going to come out with some clear air. I believe Animal is coming out the pits, but he should be in clear air. Yes, he is. He's well clear of the other Williams, and he can push now for a lap or two and try and jump the field. And if he can get a podium out of this, it would be an amazing drive for him. With the engine penalty and get that out of the way, and if he can get damage limitation on the podium, that'd be great. As Kevin is nearly breaking the air with Lakitu, but hasn't quite done it just yet, as these front 6 are now starting to form a bit of a train. So you've got Jacob, the hard tyres are coming back into play now. Jacob's going to pass Curry up into 8th place. This is when the hard tyres will start to become the better race tyre.
Yep, I think J. Cole is definitely going to try and close in now, and with him getting past, and yep, Curry is struggling on those mediums a little bit. I think that's where the mediums will start to slide for some of our drivers, but for Kevin and Lakitu, I don't think they're going to have that much qualms at the moment as we're about to start lap 6 of 29. Your order is Kevin, and someone's hit the wall. Someone's hit the wall. That is Dave. Dave's had a moment, and one of our newest drivers, unfortunately, has lost a bit of his front wing on the right-hand side, and that is red front wing damage, as I can see on my telemetry. So yep, he's gonna have to come into the pits. I was surprised that there was no safety car there, but it was such a shame. He was doing so well, and that's allowed Jacob to go, thank you very much, that's my position gain there. But yeah, Dave's got to pretty much nurse it for half a lap before he then pits for a setup with the hardcore amount of tyres. But at least him pitting now is not going to be that bad, as he's now trying to nurse it home, as that was very close between the both of them. Oh my goodness, he almost got contact with his teammate.
Yeah, I mean, him and Curry came together. I think Curry's all right. I don't think he's got damage there, but Dave will be very fast with his wing damage. He's got Morgan. Curry's got together. He can't break where he normally does. Yeah, he just lets him through there. Wise there for Dave not to break where he normally does. And yeah, he got to get to pits. The worst thing for him, it happened at the worst possible time. The last corner, we've literally gone right past the pit wall. He's got to do a whole lap like this. He's lost a bucket all the time. He was looking good for him there early on, but now he's going to struggle to score a point, I think. That's
a shame.
Him, he showed good potential, I have to say, and there's still plenty of laps left, and you never know. A safety car, all you have to do really is to stay in the lead lap, and a safety car may help, but a safety car seems quite rare on this. Curry's in the pits,
and so is Dave as well. Yeah, Dave understandably comes in onto a potential set of someone else has lost it as well. Who's that? That's Callum. That's Callum that's round. Callum is round, set to 1, and he has lost it. And another driver that's probably got some damage as well. I want to see if he's got no damage. He was so lucky there that he just had a spin moment and not any damage was picked, but he lost so much time. It was hard to see what happened because I only caught the aftermath of it, but that was pretty much race over for Callum.
That's a weird place to drop a car. I've never seen many cars lose it there. I think I saw Jarno Trulli do it once in a Renault in 2002, but I've not seen it happen much else. I wonder if he just got a bit too much. I wonder if he got a wheel on the grass, and yeah, I don't think he's got any damage, has he? He's obviously lost time with the spin.
No, he's got no damage. He's got no damage
there. Yeah, so obviously the tyres are a bit overheated, so he's got to be careful this few laps.
What a move from Alex.
Now gets by him. Yeah, that's great for him there. Nice aggression there. He's got to get DRS to pull away now. And this is working out a trick for Alex, you know. In this clear air, he's going to undercut all these guys. The problem for Alex now is, can he make these tyres last to a good window where he can chuck the hards on at the end? That's going to be the big question here. But yeah, as you see the likes of Casper and Axelock and J. Cole and Morgan staying out of trouble, and they're gaining buckets of places because
speaking of Casper, he's got a penalty. Commentator's curse from Jamie.
Penalty, yeah, that's a shame. But he's showing a lot more potential this week than last week. He's definitely a lot more competitive this week for certain.
Yeah, he's a lot better this week. He was unwell, bless him, but he's back in good shape and he's doing quite well. So fair play to Casper, and a shame about his penalty though. But he's definitely closing up to the front pack, which is what we want to see from Casper Klein. This is the pace that we know and love. As we got Curry that's going for the move.
Morgan just left the pits, but I say Morgan's trying to warm the car up, and I think he's just about got it covered there. So Curry's undercut attempt on Morgan didn't quite work.
No, that was a bit unfortunate there to get the unfortunate undercut, but you never know. He's on the mediums and he will have to get past Morgan soon, because otherwise him being on the mediums for so long is just not going to help him, unfortunately. So let's see then as they make their way through turns 8 and 9. And I think he hasn't got that much ERS actually. He's on 0% no, he's not on 0% battery, never mind. He's on 21% battery, but he's close in. And don't forget there's a double DRS overtake. Yes, and Lakitu and Marco have come in to the pit lane. Hopefully no speeding, please. And they do not speed in the pit lane, which is what we like to see. Let's watch Alex. That's going to be the key factor here. If Alex can get ahead of these guys, which will be amazing. But he's going to make those meters last for a long time, and I think he's got some sets of the hards left. But yeah, Alex's undercut absolutely spot on for him, but he's going to be on those old tyres for quite a bit, as Lakitu and Marco on a set of the mediums now as well. So I think most people are doing medium hard, which is probably the faster strategy if you're in the P1 tier, of course. Kevin now leads from Casper by 1.5 seconds. I did see someone pick up a penalty. That was Curry, so he picks up one. There's 3 drivers that picked up penalties so far, and of course are now picked up as 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So that day has gone from bad to worse from him. But we're almost in the first bit of the race. Still people yet to make their first stops. But Alex, your net race leader at the moment, Jamie.
Yeah, he's got a nice little undercut there. Obviously, 3-second one on Lakitu. 4-tyre offset though for Lakitu and Marco. It'll be at least a 5-tyre offset for Kevin when he does pit. So I believe I expect Lakitu and Marco to be ahead of Kevin when he does pit. And Kevin's sent out another lap here. So Kevin is feeling quite confident about his tyres. He's feeling like, okay, I'll give up a bit of track position early on, but it's going to pay dividends at the end of the race. And Casper as well. Casper is sticking with him. He's only a second half back. Obviously, that penalty will cost him. But yeah, Casper is showing front running pace tonight as you've got J. Cole and Axlock a bit behind. Axlock seems a bit more comfortable in race conditions compared to qualifying, as Lakito's now starting to close a bit on Alex. He's gained 4/10 on this lap.
Yeah, I think Lakitu his first few laps on those mediums is definitely going to be the important laps of his life as he gets him up to temperature. He's got better wear as well. I think after 8 laps, that's when you get around about 40-50% on those medium tyres if you're on a wheel. Of course, most people are on a wheel in this division, but Lakitu is now 2.2 seconds behind, and Kevin's going to lose so much time due to the undercut. And I really do hope he remembers about the 2-stop, as Alex has picked up a penalty. That's what lost in the win in Spain, and that could lose in the win at the moment in Australia, which is not what he wants. But plenty of battles still to be had for Alex, and plenty of action still to be had for all of our drivers. Kevin has got to come in soon, because otherwise he's going to be in a spot of bother on those mediums. He stays out on those mediums. I think it's a bit of a risk by doing so, because you can already see on our mini map they're really closing in. Casper comes in though, very smart.
Yeah, Casper maybe Casper's within undercut range of Kevin for sure. If he can get clean, Casper's going soft tyre now. That is
interesting. He always likes to go for bold strategies, to be honest. I'm not surprised that he's gone for a different strategy compared to everybody else, but if he went for a different strategy, I thought he would have gone medium, hard, medium. I like the boldness in Casper. Fair play to him, and I like people trying something different in these leagues. So let's see if Casper could do so. I think what Casper's going to do is going to try and get those soft for about 5-6 laps and then go on to the hard tyres until the end potentially. Or maybe he wants to do mediums because he may think the hards are not the best tyre, as he's had a bit of a slide coming out turn 4, but that's not going to help it. That's not going to hinder him that much. So we'll see if he can climb up as Alex and Lakitu. They're having a battle now. Lakitu has caught up.
Alex's tyres are gone already. Lakitu's gained 2 seconds. He's past lap and a half. He's showing amazing pace here. And yeah, Alex, he's going to have to pit quite early for the hards. You have to go a very long way in the hard tyres at the end, because he's just losing so much time. You can see on board with him, the back end is a bit unstable. That is classic signs of the rear tyres overheating.
Yep, I think I was still quite shocked as to when Alex pitted, because definitely pitting lap 5 is not the best decision for him. And you can see the slide there. He's got to come in.
As Kevin says, out for another lap. I wasn't shocked he pitted. I was shocked he went for hards. I think he's pitting early. He's going to be double hards. Double is not working. As Lakitu will get him here. As Kevin says out yet again, Axlock on the hards has pitted before Kevin did on the mediums. As Lakitu backs out a bit, obviously, know he's got DRS down this straight, and you should get a job done here. Marco's going to have a watching brief behind. Marco can't get the move done. Yep, he's through and up into second place, 13 seconds behind Kevin, who has gone a really long way in certain mediums. I wonder if Kevin's doing a medium strategy. That's
medium soft. I think he could be doing medium soft, which honestly, I couldn't even get 13 laps on a set of the hard. So for him to do 11 laps on the mediums shows how great on this game he is, and how good on his tyre management is as well. And even looking at his times, he's even quicker than Lakitu on fresh mediums, which is insane. As Alex has got past Lakitu again, Lakitu's going to get no, he's not going to get the DRS there, but he is going to try and get the slipstream. Alex is losing a bit of VRS, but he's saving a bit, because I think a lot of people are on about the 10%, as Kevin has eventually come in. If he does not go on softs or mediums, then I think him staying out will be meaningless. So through he comes then. It's got to be mediums or softs. It's hard tyres. It's hard tyres for Kevin. I'm a bit shocked by that.
Yeah, I know.
Let's hope he remembers the 2-stop.
Well, he's raced here twice already this season, so he shouldn't forget. So maybe he's going softs at the end.
He has
Yeah.
raced in tiers where he has raced in leagues where it is one stop. So like
Maybe he has
yesterday.
forgot,
So
yeah.
yeah, let's hope he hasn't forgot. I really do hope he hasn't forgot. But that now leaves Lakitu as your race leader. But yes, Alex has peered onto those mediums early. He's still within this train between himself and Lakitu. Lakitu's performing very well. Marco's in this as well. And with Casper on those soft tyres, Casper is hoping to make inroads on at these guys. And Casper's going to be loving life at the moment. He's got to get past ASAP. Casper, of course, I'm looking at his times. He's about 1.4 seconds quicker on that last lap compared to the likes of Marco, Alex and Lakitu. So he's just going to bind his time on a moment, save a bit of battery, which at the moment he's using a bit of battery to close in. We've got Marco going to try and get the lunge potentially on Alex round the outside. No, Alex covers him off in towards turn 11. Alex doing a very good job. Good defensive work. Alex, don't forget, has got a penalty. So he's got a lot of work to do there. That's helping Lakitu, by the way. Yeah, he's on the oldest tyres.
Lakitu. I noticed last lap, Alex, so he's got him back, and Lakitu was a lot more aggressive on the battery down that sector 2, and he's well clear now. And yeah, Lakitu, I think, is gone now. Obviously, the problem with Marco is that Alex has got DRS and Lakitu. You go down this street and the next street. It's just how Lakitu to pull away a little bit here, and yeah, and Marco's got to get this move done, because if he doesn't, then Lakitu may be gone forever. So he's got to try. He's got to be aggressive here, go for the move here. He should get it done in sector 2, but the problem is Alex is just about staying in DRS range. He has to hope that Alex doesn't stay in DRS range and he get the move done, but I believe he should be alright now. I believe he should get the move done now, as I believe Lakitu has broken the DRS of Alex.
Yep, he has. I think Lakitu definitely needed to, because he was on the fresher rubber compared to himself and Alex, and we both found this earlier. It's just so hard to get past traffic at times. That
not really defending Alex, he knows.
Yeah, he knows. I think he's picked his battles, and fair play to him. Marco went for the move. I think you could see Alex come in and struggling, so Marco's gone for it. So smart for Marco. He's now going to catch up onto Lakitu for the race lead. Now, because of that overcut from Kevin, he's dropped down into pretty much 5th place, and he's on hard, 4.4 seconds. I think he's just coming a time where he's good in the qualifying, but the race is where he needs to improve just a little bit. Yes, he was close to winning Austria, but there could have been times where he could have gone for it, but he had to settle for second at times. But yeah, it's unfortunate. It could be another weekend where Kevin may miss out on the race win, which is a shock, to be honest.
Yeah, but it can be hard though. If you're not used to racing 2 stops, then it can be hard to adjust to 2 stops, because it requires a totally different way of thinking. It requires a different driving style, because you can be a lot more aggressive at 2 stops, because tyre wear isn't really a factor as such, and also it requires you maybe pitting a lot earlier than what you expect to. And yeah, I mean, Kevin's probably learned that a bit, but still, he's had the pace to win. He's been fighting for the win in both races, so he's still got the race pace. But I think maybe a bit more fine tuning the strategy, and he'll be a big threat. But he's catching these guys. He's still catching these guys. As Casper is on Alex here. Casper has to get his move done, because these softs will be going off very soon. But as I said, the problem was earlier is that as Marco now is caught back in Lakitu again. So yeah, these guys, the DRS, you gain half a second in sector 2 in DRS. That is incredible, such a short sector.
Yeah, it is. With that double DRS zone, anything can happen. With Casper not being able to get past in that lap, I think Alex might be running low wings than Casper. Who knew?
Axelot's just overtaken Morgan for Ace. So Axelot's having a good race after different qualifying, and yeah, so, it's good to see these guys fighting for high up the order. As Alex in the pits, he gets a 10-second penalty, and that's any chance of the race win gone. Any chance of the race win gone.
He won last week because of no penalties, and now it's pretty much 0 at some point, which is a bit unfortunate. We saw that in P3 as well. Someone who won last week and unfortunately lost this week.
Well.
Yeah, Day gets one as well. It's quite more common in this tier
I'm
to get penalties. What's happening?
I'm amazed this season how many you've seen penalties we've had. Every tier we seem to have about 6, 7 every race. And this track, I'd say, isn't the hardest one to slow down the line for. There's some track like Spain I can understand, because that's quite hard, but this track,
You've got plenty of time to slow down.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's a good job we're not racing Monza this season, let me tell you that.
Monza is hard to slow down. And watch out for Silverstone next week. Watch out for Silverstone
Yeah.
next week. That's hard to slow down as well. So I think we could see more 10-second penalties in Silverstone. So watch your space, basically. Casper not being able to make the move. I wonder if Casper struggling on those soft tyres now, but still he's in the
I'm surprised he
20s.
pits soon.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if he pits. But we've got Lakita in, Marco's in, Casper stays out because he wants some clear air, and I won't be surprised if Casper goes on to a set of memes in a few laps time, and that promotes Kevin to P2 on the road, but yet he's still yet to make his second stop, so that won't change a thing. Jaco and Atslot still yet to make the second stop, same with Morgan as well, but we've got Alex, here we go. Alex's mistake there is going to cost him, I think, between Lakita at least. But for Marco, he should be fine. Alex with the warmer tyres, that's helped him a bit, actually. Yes, it has. So Alex has taken the net race lead.
Yeah, definitely. He's got a McLaren up the inside of a Sauber. That is Callum and Colin, the two Welshmen going side by side. Callum and Colin still going side by side. Good battling here. Connor getting his arms out there, and then we go side by side. KD gets another penalty, and Callum moves up to 9th place. Good fighting there between the two Welshmen, and that is Callum up to 9th place. Colin having a solid race so far, I'd say. Dave does retire from the pits, obviously sticking him out of speed and penalties he is getting.
Yeah, and he's going to get, I think, double engine wear as well, which is not good. But by the way, just before we carry on with the battling, it's nice to see the Welshmen battling. Peace of David's Day to all you Welshmen out there. Seems to me quite a lot of Welshmen are doing very well in the tiers tonight, which is great news. But yeah, happy to David's Day, everybody, to the Welshmen in One Hub Racing, especially to Callum and Colin, who are having a nice battle there. And Colin, I have to say, is having some decent pace on those set of the hard tyres. I think he'll be happy with how this race has gone so far for him. Meanwhile, Casper holds on to P1 at the moment, but he knows that Kevin is on much durable tyres, and he's got DRS.
Yeah, I believe Kevin will get this move done in one of these two straights, as Casper, the rears are gone. He should pit this lap. The rears are just completely gone. He's done well to make the last 7 laps, to be fair, but yeah, now they are past the sell-by date, so Kevin should have an easy overtake here to get back and lead. But yeah, let's not forget, he's still got a stop to make. So as it looks like Nikita and Marco are the two favourites to win as it stands.
Yeah, easy move for Kevin. Nicely done from him, but he's already on the back foot against his rivals anyway, so it's just a battle of how high you can climb at the moment. And for some people like him and Morgan and Alex and quite a few people, they would want a safety car because a lot of people have not done their 2 stops yet. And don't forget, 2 mandatory pit stops is required for all of our drivers, and if drivers don't follow it, they'll get an instant disqualification. We almost had that in P2 tier, but with them pretty much getting damaged, that cost him a bit. Casper's in for his second stop. Surely he's got to be medium tyres for the Finn as he comes through, and it is the medium. Yep, it is. He looks yellow to me, so it is medium tyres for him, which should get him till the end of this Grand Prix. And now Kevin's got some clear air to fight for a lot of this one, as Jaco is now under pressure from Atslot once again. That's going to be an interesting fight. We also got Colin, who I believe has just pitted onto a set of the hard tyres as well. Morgan's come into the pits too onto a set of the hards. So a bit of mixture of strategies here this evening.
Yeah, Morgan coming out. He's in his pit stops in the top 10. So Morgan looking good for some points at the moment, obviously. That's good to see there. Yeah, we have a divergent strategy and then obviously now we're going to see, when will Kevin pit? That's the key question. When will he pit? Will he come in early or will he go long? And maybe is Kevin going for softs at the end? That's what I think. Is he going for softs at the end?
Even if he does go on soft at the end, he's going to lose so much time because we saw how the undercar's been powerful in all four tiers tonight. We've seen it. So maybe Kevin's made a mistake a little bit. But again, let's just hope he hasn't forgotten. Surely he hasn't, but he's probably going to go for softs at the end. But I think he knows that his race is lost, and sometimes you may have not have had time to maybe put the practice, and that's potentially why, as J. Cole comes into the pits and as pretty much got trying to get the undercut on Atslot as Atslot makes his way through. Meanwhile, Lakitu and Alex are having a battle once more as Alex uses a bit of battery to try and defend from Lakitu. Then in towards turn 2 is Akita's going to burn the battery. Nope, he's not. He's going to stay behind. You've got to be within a few temps in order to do something about it as they make their way towards turn 3. So Akita, I think, struggling to get past there. Same with Marco. To be fair, Casper doing a very good job to even stay with them on those mediums now. 3.1 seconds. And it is going to come an absolute treat come the end of the race. And Dave becomes spectator and said, it's very unfortunate, Dave, to see what happened. But it's a long season, still plenty of races to go. And the only way is up, Dave. So do not give up.
Yeah, I think he showed good promise there, mate. Your qualifying was good. Obviously, a bit unlucky at the race. I think that VSC really did kill a lot of people's races. You see the guys at the back still going. Obviously, he's still a fast lap for guys at the back. But yeah, it's sad to see, because I think that VSC did ruin a lot of people's races. And we've got to look at what's causing all these drive-through penalties. So we'll wait and see what that is. As Kevin is staying out yet again. So Kevin is going for a really long stint here. As Lakitu saving a lot of battery. Yeah, Axelock, yeah. Go set another set of mediums, I presume, for the Aston Martin man. He's having a good race as well, qualifying near the back, but he's looking good for another top 10. So that'll be a great result here to get his season underway. And say where's going to come out? It's going to be very close to J. Cole, I believe. J. Cole should be ahead. Will he though? I think he may.
It's going to be close actually. Let's see as they head towards T1. Axelock's ahead, but we're going to see the same situation for Alex. He's going to get warmer tyres. And look at Morgan as well. This is going to be free wide into turn 3. Free wide into turn 3. And Morgan backs off, understandably. But Morgan gets ahead of J. Cole in the process. Nicely done from all three of them. Great stuff. But Morgan's made a bit of a mistake there, coming on the exit of 5.
A big slide.
And yeah, we had a big slide through turn 5, which was not ideal. So yeah, Morgan stays at P8 for now, but he's going to lose quite a bit of time to Axelock. He's going to gain a bit of DRS. This, in my opinion, has been Morgan's best race of the season so far, as he's, wow, look at that straight line speed on that Ferrari. He's burning all that battery as well. He's got plenty of battery to use actually, and he's going to get the DRS on this straight in towards turn 11 and 12 as Colin and Mertz has gone through, and Colin has passed into P11. So Morgan up into P7 already. We'll get the tyres up even on the setup hards. That just shows how the pace that he's got at the moment, and he's going to try and even close up to Epic the Animal as well. So if he can keep it clean without any penalties, he's definitely one of the contenders, I think, for driver of the day.
Yeah, definitely. He started 10th for the grid, 19th place last in the grid. He's up to 7. That is great to see. Let's not forget, Alex has his 10-second penalty to serve. So
he gets
at the moment, yeah,
actually,
he could be 6th. Yeah, so that would be incredible from the back grid. Obviously, the only driver to get promoted in the P2 tier last season, our champion. And he is showing great. He's doing really well. He's sitting really well in his tier in midfield, and I say top 6 for him would be amazing tonight.
It's like he's won a race. Honestly,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think you've experienced it. I've experienced it where you've been in a high tier, expected, and you get points, and it's like you won a race. But there's some tiers where you're like me tonight. Normally you'll be happy with P12 in a higher tier, but in a lower tier you'll be disappointed. Let's look at this. Free wide once again in towards turn 9 then. Axelock gets 7th, J. Cole gets 8th, and Morgan unfortunately has to lose out to J. Cole there. J. Cole with the slipstream. No DRS unfortunately, so he's losing a bit of time now. He's lost a bit of battery as well. So Axelock and J. Cole then are going to try and work together to make sure they stay where they are at the moment. They've got to be careful not to pick up too many warnings. J. Cole's got 2 warnings now, so if J. Cole's not careful, if he picks up another one, he gets a penalty. But Morgan and Axelock have got 1. I have to say, Logan in P6, the only driver out of everybody to pick up 0 warnings at all. So he's keeping it squeaky clean, doing a very great job so far. And I have to say, there's some great race between the pair of them. Colin is looking like he's going to get points again, which I think he'll be happy with at the moment in P11. And he's going to try and close up to his fellow countryman of Callum unarmed. But we're on lap 23 and 29. Kevin's still out. Let's just hope he remembers, please. I do not want to be the one that says Kevin's been disqualified. I do not want to be the one that says that. I know Jamie doesn't want to either. So, Kevin, whatever you do, pit now. Pit now, please. Yeah. As yellow flag. Oh, this could be good timing.
If that's a safety car, he surely will pit. No, but I don't think it's going to be a safety car.
No.
No, it isn't.
He was thinking about it, wasn't he?
But let's go on board with Arnaud. Oh, car's clear, but it looked like he was in the middle of the track. at this area of the track here. So that is quite surprising. It's a shame for Curry though, because I think Curry was having a solid race there. I think got to maybe a point
He
or
has
two,
a
but
good pace,
in the
yeah.
wall there, yeah, he was showing good there for a point or two, and that is definitely not what we wanted. But obviously, I think the most infamous moment of a guy forgetting a penalty was in the prospect here in season 13, where a guy lost a championship in a
Oh
in an
God, I was
8-car race.
commentating on it with
He could have
Nick.
finished last and won the title if he just paid, but he didn't, and he got disqualified and lost the championship by 1 point. So there you go.
1
And
point makes a
Kevin,
difference.
Kevin, he can't afford to lose any points tonight, so he has to pit because at the moment he's going to be on for 5th place if he does pit. But he could in theory catch back on guys. He could still get a podium if he pitted because obviously Casper's got a penalty and Alex got a penalty. So
And Epic on slower tyres as well, and he's going to have
yeah,
to
so
maybe do another stop as well because I don't think those 10 lap old halves are going to get to the
and
end.
he's going to be a dead cert for fast lap inside top 10 if he pits. So yeah, he should just pit and wait and see. Go on board on this lap, see what he does. Does he dive into the pit? Well, yes, he does. There we go.
Yay! Okay, thank you.
Going
I think
soft,
someone reminded
surely.
him.
Going soft, going
Yeah.
this length. Surely sets off.
Yeah, and Diagro has retired. Safety car.
Safety car, that has
Kevin!
bailed him out big time. That has bailed him out big time. That has saved his race. Safety car
Why
is
is he
out.
on
And
hards? What's he doing?
I don't know, but like,
Why is he on hards? To be fair, he didn't know there was a safety car came out, but...
he was in the pit lane he was in the garage for the safety car. So
Kevin,
he probably couldn't.
he bought the race win. And you know what Alex could do now? He could serve his 10 second. He can get rid of that 10 second.
Yeah, everyone's coming with softs, no surprise. Softs will get to the end now of a safety car. Yeah, get rid of your 10-second penalties. And look at this, Arnard, Senna and Clark, they all stayed in the lead lap. And guess what? They're all back in the race.
Yeah, and that is why you do not give up. So there we go. And 1 point is all it takes, like we saw in P3, P2. Was it P2 quite a few seasons ago, where the winning margin was 1 point and it came down to the fastest lap point? So yeah, anything could happen there. So my money, Casper's back in this, Logan's back in this, pretty much everyone's back in this. I'm excited. And this is our first safety car in P1, isn't it?
Yeah, I know one person who was desperate for a safety car all season, Axlock. I bet you tonight he didn't want one.
Yeah, I don't think Axlock would have wanted one. I don't think Morgan would have wanted one either. I think there was plenty of other drivers who wouldn't want one, but guess what? We've got one. So yeah, that just leaves P3 the only tier to not get a safety car. We're the only tier to not get a safety car. Everyone else, every other tier now has got a safety car. Okay, let you carry on.
I just say, yeah, definitely. And Kevin, this restart for Kevin is going to be really interesting because the delta, what is the delta between the soft and hard tyre? It must be about 1.5 seconds of a fresh set, or even 2 seconds. So this is going to be an absolute nightmare of Kevin, and he may not even score a point. If he cannot get these tyres working, he maybe struggle to score a point, and he has dominated the weekend in terms of pace, but the strategy went a bit awry. I thought you got bailed out big time by a safety car, but because of the fact that
wrong tyre
to the hard tyre, that has killed it for him. Everybody else behind him on the fresh set soft. The only other guy not on soft is Clark, who's on a set of mediums, which may not be a bad play at the back. You never know. If these guys do have tyre trouble, it may work for him. And no, he's coming to pits anyway. Actually, this is clever from Clark. He's coming to pits now. He's going to chuck a set of softs on.
Smart, fast lap outside the top. He's going to try and get a fast lap outside the top 10.
And these guys have had to use tyres up to catch up the safety car. He's using less tyres, so that's smart by Clark because he's not going to lose a place. That is 1,000 IQ move there by Clark pitting there.
Why Knox? He was low down anyway, and he wanted to try and get some extra points. So I think smart move from Matt Clark at the moment. Hopefully, Mikey, that helped you with your penalties there at the moment. But Kevin is probably going to lose out on this one, but with plenty of drivers still in it, it's got to be between Lakita and Marco now. I don't think anyone else is in the running for the race victory unless we could see a surprise from Axlock. Could we see, literally anyone could win. It is so crazy. And someone putting in the chat, the end of this race is about to be crazy or messy or maybe both. If we've seen what it's been like in the safety car restarts in P4 and in P2 this season, well, We are going to get that, I think, unfortunately, especially with the last few laps. Safety cars, they make their way to turn 11. Safety car will be in for one more lap, it seems, because we're waiting for Senna, Arnold, and Clark to catch up. Of course, they're now on the lead lap.
If I was Senna, I'd pit again and go another fresh set of softs.
Yeah, I'll be smart. Yeah, if you have a fresh set of soft Senna, come in. You have more of an advantage getting up the fastest lap, and you could try to gain a few positions from it. Why not? You're not going to lose out on much. Same with Arnold, I would say, because you got that gap. If Arnold and Senna, I would come in. Obviously, Arnold stayed out. Senna, he's got to think about it if he wants that faster lap point. No, but he's not.
He's staying out. Maybe he's feeling like I cannot. Maybe he feels like he can't catch a pack up. So I understand that, because obviously the safety car. Yeah, I understand why he stayed out now, because he may sure would catch the pack up again. So I can see why he has. If it was in the pack already, he might have done it. But I think now he's still got catch up. Maybe that's why he has decided to stay out. So that is fair enough.
Fair enough for Senna.
At the moment, outside top 10, the fast lap is Arnaud, and inside top 10, this will change, of course. I believe it is Alex. So that will change, of course, with everyone on fresh softs. But that is how it's standing at the moment.
Yeah, fastest lap does belong to, yes, a 17.9 for Alex, compared to an 18.1 for Lakito. And Arnold outside the top 10, it did a 17.5. So that was your fastest lap. Hope that helped. I think if it was any other tier that had a safety car towards the end, like P2, things could change rapidly with the amount of penalties. But in P1, look at the amount of penalties. Only 2 penalties. So it's not really going to change that much. They're going to take some gambles here. Safety car is in this lap. Kevin is going to be the Burt Mylander. It's come out a bit early, but he's going to control the pack. He's going to go to a reduced Delta. And what has happened to my game? My game has crashed. That is not ideal.
Okay.
Oh no, we're good. I think we're good. We're good. Okay, we didn't miss much. That was weird. That crashed for like 3 or 4 seconds, but we're fine. Here we go. Luckily, Jamie didn't have to step in there for a minute because he probably would have panicked. But here we go then. We are about to go for a sprint to the finish. 2 laps till the end. Who's going to win? Kevin's going to do all he can try to defend this, but I think it's going to be really hard for him to do so. But for the second time tonight, we go green flag racing. We can already see side-by-side action happening in the background. How you can see one of the Alpines going to take the short line possible, but Kevin holds on to the lead. Alex picks up another penalty. That's definitely his race win. Definitely gone in the bin, and he's going to be finishing near the back of the field, which is probably a relief for Casper. In towards turn 3 then. Kevin still about holds on. I think he's going to be alright for this lap, but for the next lap, that is where he's going to struggle, and DRS will be activated next lap. Yeah, so Kevin's going to be fine this lap, but the key to is just got to be patient and make sure you just can hold on to Kevin within this next pretty much half a lap.
Yeah, obviously he won't get it in the first part of the lap because the text points before that, but he'll get it this part here. So if Lakita was this far back on the last lap, he'll have an opportunity for a send into turn 1. I believe Kevin, look at him, the hard tyre, just hasn't got the grip of the softs, and Lakita, the problem is when you're different tires like this, it's so easy to drive in the rear of the car ahead because the brake's so much earlier.
Clark's had a moment. He's under pressure from Colin as well. Colin's going to lose out on points here. I think he was the only one to move safety car, and they made a bit of contact in the background, this Senna and Clark. And yeah, Colin's missing out on points there. Yep, he was one of the only drivers I think who did not want that safety car. But we're about to start the final lap of P1 tonight here in Australia. The final lap in Australia around this pretty much all these 4 tiers this evening. Kevin still leads. I don't know how this is happening, but he's pulling away. He's pulling away from Lakita. Maybe the hard tyres are the best tyre to be on for him. And Welsh Benjamin saying that the hard tyres look beautiful. It looks beautiful for Kevin. And Lakita has got to burn this battery to a T in order to get this win, because I think he may have bottled this race win. Kevin could still get this race win without a shadow of doubt. We'll have to wait and see. Through in towards turn 7 they go. Lakita's got to burn that battery. He's hardly got any battery. He's hardly got any battery left. So if all else fails, Kevin has got this race win in the bag, but it's going to be very hard for him. Through towards turn 9 and 10 they go. Lakitu has caught up a little bit into this as well. Lakitu's got to go for a move here, because otherwise he's lost this race win. We got some moves in the background, but our attention draws to the race win as we got a yellow flag in the background, but let's ignore that. But Kevin is doing all he can. Maybe it's we thought it was a strategy blunder, but it's a stroke of genius for Kevin as Alex has picked up himself another warning. But Kevin on those hard tyre from lights to flag. We thought it was going to be easy for him, but it wasn't easy. Kevin wins his first race in one hub. A late call, but that works brilliantly for him. Lakitu second, Marco third, Epic the Animal fourth, Atslot with a great result in fifth, Casper in sixth, J. Cole seventh, Morgan with his best ever result in the P1 tier in eighth. He'll be happy with that. And I didn't see the rest of the grid because it all came up so quickly, but I did not expect Kevin to get the win on those hard tyres. Incredible.
No, but the hard's a really good race timing though. I noticed in the race, the first couple laps are a bit sketchy. Once you get past that, then they do really work well. And the soft tyre isn't a great race tyre. It's great for about 3 or 4 laps, but they have to do a lap or two to catch the safety car here. So I believe the softs are going off already. It just shows you why nobody wanted to use them. Apart from Casper, who did make it work fair play in the race, why nobody wanted using the race there. But yeah, Kevin, great win there. Got a bit lucky with the time of the safety car there, but from that stage onwards, he made his own look there. That's his first win, and that's another. It's his first win in the league, and obviously he's had a second, and a win, a form of a champion. As I believe Alex dropped all the way down to, I think it was 11th place in the end. I saw there. Didn't quite catch it, but them penalties costly for Alex, as he's lost a lot of points to his 2 championship rivals who are out there on the podium.
Yeah, maybe some people would have wanted to use me. I think medium form would have been a better tyre than even the hard compound of tyres.
No memes left. They all used the mediums already. So
oh yeah. Good point. That is a good point. But maybe that's what Kevin could have done. But again, he had double hard. But here we go. Then here's your order: Kevin from Lakitu, Marco, Epic, Atslot, Kevin, J. Cole, Morgan, Callum, Mert, Arnold, and Alex get the final point. And then we got Arnold still has the fastest lap, by the way. So Colin just missed out on points. He'll be going with that. Senna and Clark are your final finishes, and your retirements are Diagro, Curry, Dave, and Robite, who didn't even make it past the first lap. I think he missed out on turn 4. So there we go. That was a great end to that race. Apologies that we had a slight crash at the end, but luckily we were able to catch a little bit of it, which was great. But let's pick our sim racing setup driver of the day. We got quite a few to choose from after that race. But Jamie, I'll start with you.
I believe Casper there got the fast lap inside top 10 as well, so shout out to him for that. For driver of the day, I'm gonna go for a guy who I think was the fastest guy out there today, but he got a bit screwed over by the safety car. Obviously, he couldn't get the move done at the end. We'll go for Lakitu in second place. I'm gonna say, well done, mate. Good drive.
But I think I'm back. I think I'm back now. Apologies about that. Jamie, can you hear me again? I'm sorry. Can you repeat your question? Can you repeat your question for your? I think it was Lakitu, wasn't it? Sorry about that.
Yeah, Lakitu. Yeah, I thought it was my end. I left a couple of times. Yeah, hello. Yeah, so say, well done. I say, Lakitu, second place. Well done. What was your reaction to that safety car? You must have been cursing your luck, and also were the softs gone? Because at the end, it felt like they were. Because the last lap, it didn't look the nicest on board your car.
Yeah. Okay. That's a smart move for P2 for Lakito. Quite a few drivers who I think could have got driver of the day, but I'm going to have to say I am going to give it to Kevin. Yes, he got a bit lucky with the safety car, but I think without that safety car, I think I would have chosen like Marco or Logan or something like that. But I'm going to give it to Kevin. So well done on the win there. Did you think without that safety car, you still would have had a chance for victory? And how relieved you were by that safety car keeping coming out? So well done for picking up your first win. So that is it then for the P1 tier. But before we go, we're going to have a quick a preview into next week. The home of British Motorsport is this next week, I believe. We go to Silverstone, and that is a track that a lot of drivers love on the grid. We got a lot of Brits in this league, and I think a lot of Brits want to do well here, but we could see people that could surprise us.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a popular track for the drivers, and obviously one of our most race tracks on one hub, along with Spa. They've done the most races. Obviously, it's the only race where we've repeated between seasons. We race it round one of the opening seasons. Yeah, great to go back there. Obviously, last time we raced there, the weather was a bit sketchy. So hopefully, we had that bit of a lottery weather. So hopefully, I think we may see some rain next week in qualifying of the race, but hopefully the weather is a bit more consistent. And obviously, you're not seeing all these guys performing the wet so far this season. That might form a bit of a shake-up, but we've still got a week to go for that, and I can't wait for it. And yeah, obviously, it's been a good day for Kevin in the championship, and good consolidated points for Marco and Makito. That they're looking good, but Alex, he's cursing luck there because that safety car did hose him a bit, and the penalty.
He's dropping way down, isn't he?
12th place. That's a big drop.
Yeah, he's got a big drop, and obviously Kevin quite lucky there to get the race win, but sometimes you gotta be lucky to potentially do well, and Atsot did well as well, so we'll see if he does well in Silverstone next week. And plenty of drivers in all 4 tiers would want to have good luck, I have to say, next week, but not everyone can have good luck. So let's look at our title sponsors before we head off and call it a night. Delta.app, you could use the command !Delta to get all your investments in one app, and you can track them and everything, and you can use the link in a description on YouTube, or you can check the command !Delta on Twitch. Of course, thank you also to our other sponsors. We won't have time to go through everyone, but thank you to Sim Racing Setups, Vespertine, Pure Sim Gear, Next Level Racing, and SimGrids. Without them, the league would not happen. So it is Kevin who has gone on to take the race victory. We've had 3 winners from 3 races in the P1 tier. I don't think it's happened in any tier. Actually, it might have happened in P2 actually, but P1 tier, 3 winners from 3. Could we have a 4th in Silverstone? Well, we're gonna have to wait and see. From myself and Jamie, you take care, everyone, and we will see you next week. Have a good one. Good night.
Good night.